Hi, this is Jody Roundhouse with the Roundhouse Report. Today is March 29th, 2019. I'm going to talk to you very quickly about the Space Force, the new space command that the Trump administration has put into place. Space, right? President Reagan, the early and mid 80s, the Star Wars program, I think it was called just the National Defense Initiative, really scared the Soviet Union and led to their collapse because they tried to counter it. And they called it Star Wars because they thought that we were going to be shooting lasers. Star Wars had come out relatively recently, and people were like, "Are we going to be shooting lasers out of space and stuff?" So the new Space Command, what we're dealing with on a realistic level is, and we have already researched and developed this, and I believe already deployed it. The Department of Defense launches planes about every 3 months. They launch space rockets, but they're planes. They're like space planes. And I know this because they launch out of Cape Canaveral and they've launched out of SpaceX. I have a buddy who works at SpaceX, can't list his name, and he's also interned at Cape Canaveral, can't list his name. So, and also people come to watch this stuff. Cape Canaveral allows you to come and spectate and take pictures and stuff. And I mean, it's a freaking rocket launcher. It's a sonic boom. I mean, people are going to come and watch that. People around my neighborhood, because there's a major Air Force base around here. Sometimes there's sonic booms, people get up on the roof and take pictures and crap and record it. But I'm getting off track. The Space Command, the things that have already been put into place with regard to the Space Command, all that we did is just made it official. Under the Bush administration, we began, probably earlier, well, I guess under the Reagan administration, we began space-based technologies to counter what we knew was coming, which was that Russia, China, other countries were going to develop their own military-linked satellites. Our military without our satellites, our entire way of life without our satellites, it's done. No TV, no this, the Roundhouse Report. Oh wow, you'd be missing this, huh? No internet, no TV, no cell phone, no contact with the outside world. It'd be like, what's that movie with Kevin Costner, The Postman? It'd be like that, and I would become the postman. Yeah, I would be the postman, man. Some crazy stuff carrying with me, dude. All right. So we already have, I believe, based on research and development that I read about in 2005, it's been almost 15 years, right? Lasers. We have laser projection on the satellites meant to, and by the way, the satellites that I'm referring to also have booster technology so that they could be transferred out of one orbit into another, and they could be boosted to maneuver to either evade enemy satellites or to launch offensives against enemy satellites. Now they're equipped with lasers, and some of these killer satellites that I guess protect all the other smaller satellites, because we have hundreds, if not thousands, up there that support the military and the world's way, the modern world's way of life. These super satellites, they have these lasers, and they project to other enemy satellites and can jam them or kill them. Just make them, the electronics blow out, kind of like an EMP or something. Those are lasers. Also, we've invested heavily in the early 2000s, if not earlier, in, I believe, have already deployed because of these weird DoD space missions that I referred. I never quite finished that. Every 3 months they go up, nothing said. 3 months later they land, nothing said. Three and they set up another one. Nobody knows what they're doing. But the Space Command, we just made it official. Lenses. We have lenses on our satellites that project. They're maneuverable, they are intuitive, they have sensors, they project the sun in certain patterns and in certain ways, and they have, lenses, plural, so as to properly maneuver the sun's rays and use it against enemy satellites. Now, the Chinese, to counter such things, a couple of years ago, they launched an air-to-space rocket to kill one of their weather satellites. And they did it successfully. So we're spending a lot of money doing this research and development of space, and potential adversaries are spending a little bit of money to counter what we're doing. Like China just building a rocket that can shoot down a satellite. That was a weather satellite. I don't know what part of orbit that was in. I don't know where our military satellites are, but I'm sure that we have plenty of counters to any kind of maneuver such as that. And we won't see such things until the next war breaks out. And I believe it'll be with China in the coming 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Then we'll see this weird stuff that has been under development since Reagan in the 80s come to life. We'll see where all of our tax money's been going. So that is the Roundhouse Report, brief synopsis, space warfare. The Russians are up there, but they really, they like space and stuff, and they're up there, and we collaborate with them. But they don't understand a lot of things. The Russians, they're a little backwards. So, okay, you're good at chess. Okay, it's the Roundhouse Report. Please subscribe. Thank you.